Hello everyone, welcome to Astrology Chunks. Today I'm discussing the most possible impacts of the coming lunar eclipse, the first lunar eclipse of 2026 happening on the 3rd March. You may start noticing its effects a few days before it is actually happening, like around the end of Feb. This reading is according to Vedic astrology, so based on sidereal planetary placements. This eclipse is happening in the sign of Leo, and it is a Ketu-driven eclipse. Ketu-driven eclipses usually bring realizations, clarity, and strong reality checks. Since this eclipse is happening in Leo, the focus is on self-respect, pride, and your sense of self. Many people may suddenly question what they are doing in life. Some may realize they have been distracted by temporary enjoyment and are not aligned with their real purpose. This eclipse can push people back toward what they are truly meant to do. One of the strongest effects of this eclipse can be emotional chaos. Emotional sensitivity can increase and reactions can become exaggerated. People may react very quickly, jumping from calm to extremely emotional within seconds. Misunderstandings can also rise. Many people may feel that others are not understanding them properly, which can create a strong sense of victimization. Because of this feeling, reactions may become impulsive and reckless. Actions done in the heat of the moment are very likely during this period. Anger, irritation, and sudden decisions can dominate people's behavior. Because of this, it is not the best time to take major life decisions. People may take things too personally and cut things off without thinking calmly. These patterns may become visible from around the 25th or 26th of Feb and can remain strong until around the 6th of March. On the positive side, this eclipse can still bring an important realization. After the emotional intensity settles, people may start seeing situations more clearly. It can give the courage to finally stand up against something that has been causing suffering for a long time. This lunar eclipse is also connected to the solar eclipse that happened on the 17th Feb 2026, which was all about stirring up the strong urge for freedom, independence, and liberation. Many people experienced emotional highs and lows during that time, feeling happy or sad without a clear reason. However, that solar eclipse was more about feelings than actions. People were sensing things internally but were not really acting on them. This lunar eclipse on the 3rd March is different because Mars energy is strongly involved. Mars represents action, so the thoughts and frustrations people were carrying internally may now turn into real actions. Many people may feel ready to end situations once and for all and free themselves from whatever has been holding them back to fulfill their desires or anything that limiting their freedom, independence, or personal power. In the coming months, many people will become extremely determined to fulfill their desires, sometimes by any means. On a collective level, this can also show public anger rising. Many people may feel victimized or frustrated by systems, rules, or decisions being imposed on them. Because of that, it would not be surprising to see people coming out on the streets, protesting, or strongly reacting against authorities. The general mood among the masses can become very reactive and emotionally charged. Anger can rise quickly and reactions may become extreme. Because of this, it is not really an easy time for authority figures, especially governments, as people may openly challenge what they feel is unfair. And these reactions may not be limited to just a few days. The tone can continue building in the coming months as well. This eclipse will be visible across North America, East Asia, Australia, and the Pacific region. Because of this visibility, the effects of this eclipse are likely to be felt more strongly in these areas compared to the rest of the world. The fixed signs are likely to feel this eclipse the most. These signs include Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Taurus. This is according to the sidereal zodiac signs. Why? Because this eclipse is happening in their quadrant houses. In astrology, quadrant houses are very important because they form the basic foundation of life and often bring noticeable events or turning points. At the same time, it is important to understand that every zodiac sign can experience the influence of this eclipse of some degree. The exact impact depends on a person's individual birth chart and planetary placements. Because of this, it is not accurate to make a single prediction for everyone. What I am sharing here is just a general overview, a broader astrological picture of the energies surrounding this eclipse rather than very specific predictions. Another thing worth mentioning is this eclipse is very likely to bring sudden or explosive events in the world. Recently, for example, there was a gas tank explosion reported in South America. Around this eclipse period, situations involving explosions, electrical issues, shocks, or accidents can appear more frequently. Because of that, it's wise to be extra careful during this time. Avoid unnecessary risks, especially when dealing with electricity, machinery, or technical repairs, unless you fully know what you are doing. Of course, this doesn't mean it will affect everyone in the same way. Much of it depends on personal planetary placements. Still, since the overall energy can be intense, staying cautious and aware during this time is a sensible approach. Now, let's explore how this eclipse is going to impact each zodiac sign in a nutshell. This reading is based on Vedic astrology, so make sure to check your rising sign according to Sidereal astrology system to resonate with it. Let's get started with the fire signs, means the Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius rising signs. This eclipse is hitting you quite personally. You may feel restless, emotional, or suddenly very aware of where your life is going. Your beliefs, your vision, and the goals you once felt proud of could go through a big reality check. Some situations may show you who truly values you and who doesn't. At first, this can feel intense, even dramatic, but it's actually pushing you to rebalance your pride and generosity. You may also notice more activity in your social circle, collaborations, or connections with people who open new doors. So, while the eclipse shakes your sense of direction, it is quietly building momentum in your networks, friendships, and future plans. In the end, you start moving toward people and opportunities that respect your worth. For Aries rising, this eclipse is mainly influencing your love life, matters related to children, and your creative projects. These areas may go through sudden developments or emotional ups and downs. Because of this, it is important to stay cautious and avoid taking unnecessary risks, trying not to make impulsive moves, especially when it comes to speculation or stock market related activities during this period. During this time, your ego and pride are likely to be triggered the most, which can blur your judgment and make it harder to see the full picture. Be careful not to let pride push you into actions you might later regret. For Leo rising, this eclipse is happening in your first house, which directly impacts your mindset, behavior, and personal decisions. During this phase, you may feel emotionally charged or act more impulsively than usual. It will be very important to keep your emotions in check and stay aware of how you react to situations. Also, be careful with physical activities and avoid doing anything reckless because your actions during this time may have stronger consequences. For Sagittarius rising, this eclipse is activating your ninth house. This area is connected to legal matters, higher education, mentors, father figures, belief systems, and long distance matters. Because of this, you should be careful while dealing with these topics. Avoid making rushed or emotionally driven decisions, especially in legal or important life matters. Take your time, think clearly, and try not to make mistakes in the heat of the moment. Moving to the earth signs means the Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn rising signs. For you, this eclipse is working more on the inside than the outside. Emotions, memories, and private thoughts may come up strongly. Something in your inner world is asking to be acknowledged instead of buried. You may feel more sensitive than usual or want distance from certain people while you process things. At the same time, this emotional shift is slowly strengthening your practical side. Your confidence about money, work, or personal stability begins to grow from within. It's like your inner healing is feeding your outer strength. By the end of this phase, you may feel more grounded, more sure of yourself, and more focused on building a life that actually feels secure. For Taurus rising, this eclipse is happening in your fourth house. This area represents your home, family, life, emotional security, and connection with your mother. Because of this, there may be dramatic or emotionally intense situations within the home environment. It is important to stay calm and keep your reactions under control while dealing with family members, especially your mother. Also, avoid making reckless decisions related to property, real estate, or vehicles during this eclipse period. For Virgo rising, this eclipse is activating your 12th house. This house is connected with isolation, subconscious emotions, dreams, foreign lands, and inner healing. During this time, you may feel emotionally confused or overwhelmed without clearly understanding why. Because of that, meditation, reflection, and spiritual practices can help you a lot. It would also be wise to avoid making big decisions related to foreign travel, long term investments, or major expenses, as judgment may not be very clear. One interesting thing is that your dream activity may become stronger. Pay attention to your dreams as they could reveal hidden fears, inner emotions, or even expose people who may not truly support you. For Capricorn rising, this eclipse is happening in your eighth house, which is considered one of the most intense and transformative houses. Old matters from the past may resurface and trigger strong emotional reactions. During this period, small issues could easily become bigger if handled impulsively. So, it is very important to control your reactions. Try not to act out of anger or frustration if something from the past comes up again. This may also not be the best time for surgeries or major medical procedures unless necessary. In addition, be careful while dealing with matters related to taxes, insurance, shared finances, or inheritance. Avoid making major decisions in these areas until things feel more stable. Next, the air signs means the Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius rising signs. This eclipse is strongly affecting your relationships. Conversations may become intense, truths may come out, and you may clearly see who is really aligned with you. Some connections might become stronger, while others may naturally fall away. There could be ego clashes or sudden reactions, so try not to respond too quickly in heated moments. What this period is really doing is pushing you to stand in your own authority when dealing with people. As these relationship events unfold, something inside you will wake up. Your confidence, courage, and ability to take initiative. You may feel ready to act, lead, or pursue something bold. In other words, while relationships are the stage of the eclipse, it is quietly building fire inside you to take bold action in your life. For Gemini rising, this eclipse is happening in your third house. The third house relates to communication, siblings, neighbors, short travels, and daily interactions. Because of this, you need to be mindful of how you communicate with people around you. Saying something impulsively, especially online or in messages, could easily escalate into unnecessary conflict. Try to stay calm and think before reacting. Also, be extra careful while driving or traveling short distances, as distraction, zoning out, or reckless behavior could lead to problems. It is also better not to sign any contracts during this eclipse period, as they may lead to confusion or misunderstandings later on. For Libra rising, this eclipse is taking place in your 11th house. This house is connected to friendships, social circles, networks, and financial gains. During this period, you should be cautious while dealing with friends, acquaintances, or group activities. Misunderstandings can arise easily. It may also not be the best time to make major decisions related to salary negotiations, bonuses, investments, or expected financial gains. It is better to observe rather than rush into anything important. For Aquarius rising, this eclipse is occurring in your seventh house, which directly affects relationships, partnerships, and business dealings. Because of this, you need to be very careful while interacting with your spouse, romantic partner, or business partners. Small disagreements could quickly grow into bigger conflicts if handled impulsively. Avoid making major commitments or launching new partnerships during this time. Also, avoid signing any contracts during the eclipse period, as they could create misunderstandings or complications in the future. Finally, the water signs means the Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces rising signs. This eclipse is focusing on your practical world, work, responsibilities, daily structure, and finances. At first, it may feel frustrating, plans may stall, motivation may drop, or you may realize something you started is not moving the way you expected. Instead of forcing progress, this moment is asking you to pause and rethink your approach. Something that looked exciting may need adjustment or a new direction, but this pause has a purpose. As things slow down in your outer life, your emotional and intuitive side becomes stronger. You start understanding what truly inspires you and what doesn't. In the end, this eclipse reconnects you with your inner spark, helping you move forward with more emotional clarity and authenticity. For Cancer rising, this eclipse is happening in your second house, which is connected to your finances, savings, personal values, and self worth. Because of this, you should be very careful when making financial decisions during this time. Avoid impulsive or risky moves related to money, banking, or investments. This eclipse may bring certain realizations about how you manage your resources and what truly gives you a sense of security. Instead of reacting quickly, observe what is being revealed and take your time before making any major financial choices. For Scorpio rising, this eclipse is taking place in your 10th house, the house of career, reputation, and public image. Because of this, your actions in public or at the workplace can have a stronger impact than usual. You need to be very mindful of your behavior, especially when dealing with bosses, authority figures, or professional environments. Acting out of frustration or reacting emotionally could harm your reputation. Avoid conflicts with superiors and do not rush into major career decisions, such as quitting a job or starting something new out of anger. Staying calm and professional will be very important during this period. For Pisces rising, this eclipse is happening in your sixth house, which relates to work, daily routines, responsibilities, co-workers, and conflicts. During this time, you may feel irritated more easily, and this could affect your interactions with people at your workplace. or in your everyday environment. If not handled carefully, this behavior could distance others from you. Try to stay patient and mindful of how you respond to situations. Be cautious when dealing with legal matters or work related issues. It may also not be the best time to take loans or create financial obligations, as those decisions could bring complications later. On a positive note, there is also a possibility of recovering or finding something that was previously lost. That's it. This eclipse is simply a cosmic signal to stay aware and observe what is unfolding in your life. Watch the patterns, stay cautious, and let the bigger picture reveal itself.